I'm going to give you my reaction to the third Republican debate. I believe they're still debating, but I pretty much get the gist of what's going on. They talked about the the Iran war or the brewing Iran war. People like Nikki Haley, Tim Scott, etc. Ron DeSantis, others, Vivek Ramaswamy. I'm going to give my response and my reaction to what I saw from the third debate in a second. Dream Rare Podcast. We'll wait till everybody comes in. God bless you guys.
It's the Dream Rare Podcast. Welcome to the show. The way to get the news at the desk or on the road. Let's go. God is great and success in our control. The world is crazy, but we get better from our...
What's going on, my friends? I've seen enough. I watched about 20-30 minutes of the debate. I think they're still yapping, but I get the gist of what I really cared about. And I don't know. There's only so much I could listen to Tim Scott talk in circles and Nikki Haley. So I'm going to just give my brief reaction to what I think about the candidates in the third reaction and the third debate, rather, and how things have kind of changed since the second debate. The second debate, there was no Israel-Palestine situation, at least on this level. They've been fighting for years. But now that there's been the October 7th attack, the response by Israel, it seemed to dominate a lot of the conversation and change my opinion about some of the candidates based on principles that I have. So I want to start with a few things that I saw. I saw Vivek Ramaswamy. He called Nikki Haley like Dick Cheney in high heels or whatever. And then Tim Scott just starts rambling on right after Vivek does that. He's like, I think we need to do our foreign policy a little different. We don't want the neocons of the past. You're like Dick Cheney in heels. And Tim Scott just picks up the conversation and just starts casually talking about how he wants to go to war with Iran. And he's like, we're fighting all these other wars and stuff, but I think we need to go for the head of the snake and just go right for Iran. And it's like, bro, could you imagine Nikki Haley and Tim Scott fighting in the war that they want to start? Like, are they warriors? They sit there and they stand on the stage, and Tim Scott looks like he'd mess up my order at like Starbucks. If I was like, yo, let me get an Americano, I feel like Tim Scott would give me like an oat milk latte. And I'm like, I don't even think I don't know what he does in Congress or something, takes donor money and like talks real slow or whatever. But I just can't see the guy doing anything, let alone the war that he wants to start. Same with Nikki Haley. It's like they have all this, oh, we got to do this, this, and this. Like, who's we? You? Like, are you going to? Oh, no, I'm not going to do it. Who? The military, they're running ads now. They want like conservatives again. So there must be a war breaking out. Ridiculous. But one part that I noticed too, they talked about anti-Semitism and fighting anti-Semitism. And, Vivek was saying that he believes that what the students are doing is ridiculous, but he wants a constitutional stance of, I don't agree with what they're doing, but you have to allow protest groups to protest as long as it's constitutionally bound. You're not allowed to do violence or anything like that. But if it's just an opinion and an unpopular opinion, you have to let them go, because shutting them down is not going to stop it, which I think is the right answer personally. And then Tim Scott talked about it, and he said, no, we have to deport people on visas who disagree with that. And then Ron DeSantis came in and said, I think that, Biden's trying to fight Islamophobia. How dare him fight Islamophobia? It's anti-Semitism. And Ron DeSantis said how he shut down a student group for Palestine and, that we have to go even further. And this is my question for you, because I know a lot of people might disagree with me on this, and they might say, well, I don't like what they're doing. They're terrorists. They're supporting terrorists, and they need to be shut down. Who gets to decide? Like, let me give you an example. If you think it's okay, and feel free to disagree, I don't really care. If you think it's okay to deport a kid on a visa because they support Palestine, do you agree with deporting a kid that doesn't like Ukraine? And a lot of people probably would say no. Like, no, I think we should deport the Palestinian protesters, but not, someone against Ukraine. Who cares? It's like, well, Ukraine is our ally in a war against Russia that we pretend like we're not fighting, and that's America's ally. We say Russia bad, Ukraine good. We fund Ukraine. We've given them hundreds of billions of dollars. I don't know what it's up to. So that's my question is, if you think it's okay to deport someone who disagrees with Israel and is siding with Palestine, is it okay to deport somebody who disagrees with Zelensky and sides with Russia? And where does this, it sounds good when someone disagrees with you. They're like, no, get those guys away. It's like, for disagreeing with your foreign policy. Well, they're siding with them. Who gets to decide? Like, if America drops bombs here and they drop bombs here, who gets to decide who's who? And I understand, like, if you're not a citizen, you have less rights, I guess. But it's just, for me, I don't personally agree with Tim Scott and Ron DeSantis on that stuff. I think that they're abusing the definition of hate speech and creating safe spaces on college campuses, similar to how the left does. They say, I don't feel safe on a college campus. Okay, why? Because Ben Shapiro's coming to town and he talks about, he doesn't think transgender should exist or what. It's like, I get it. That's uncomfortable. But, where everyone has a line, where do you draw the line? Do you not allow people to protest? Because I don't agree with Ron DeSantis and I don't agree with Tim Scott. I think that it's a slippery slope. And no matter how many people disagree with me on Twitter, et cetera, they say, no, you don't understand. I've read Ron DeSantis's anti-Semitism bills. I see how it's defined. Technically, I don't think that they have used it yet to the fullest extent, but there are verses in the Bible that could technically be considered anti-Semitic just based off of the anti-Semitic rules that Ron DeSantis he's brought it upon himself to define what that word means, and he's passed it through legislation so he can kind of technically use it. And it's like, who gets to decide what racism is? Can Kamala Harris pass a racism bill and say, well, this is what racism is now because it means these 50 things, and if you disagree with one of them, technically you're an Islamophobe and a racist? And you understand, it's like, I've seen the definition. I see how they've defined it. I don't agree from a principled standpoint. I tend to agree with Vivek on that topic. And personally, I like a lot of things that DeSantis has done. I thought he won the last debate. I think he's been treated unfairly. I don't agree with Trump supporters who say, why did DeSantis run? He shouldn't even run. It's not, he should just stay out of Trump's way. I don't agree with that at all. I even said many times, I think DeSantis does most things better than Trump. But I don't trust DeSantis at all. And he's kind of lost me with this new war breaking out, not just the fact that he disagrees with me on a few things. He just seems so bullish and like shut down protests, shut down the student groups and, enforce this and pass a new law and a speech bill and this is hate speech. And it's like, it's too much. I don't like that. It doesn't appeal to me. If that does appeal to you, you could vote for him and, wear his merch or something. Me personally, I don't agree with that. And, when I say that on Twitter, I find a lot of people like the DeSantis crowd, they get like so mad and they're like, oh, it's like, whatever, like you don't have to think that, but I do. So, yelling at me is not going to change my opinion on it. What do you guys think? I'm going to read. Someone said they're calling for the death of the Palestinian people. Who's calling for the death of the Palestinian people? DeSantis? Here's another thing too. Where do you draw the line with, say Ben Shapiro says he wants to flatten Palestine into a parking lot. Technically, that's like super messed up. I don't agree with that. But is that crossing the line? Like, if you say, oh, we should fight Iran, technically, is that like, I don't think we should fight Iran, but should people be allowed to say that? If you define that this is technically calling for this, and then you enforce it only one way, eventually I believe that it's going to be enforced on you. So you have to be very thoughtful about like what you don't allow. I don't know, unless you just don't care and the First Amendment means nothing to you. What do you guys think? Me personally, I don't call for any war and stuff like that. But as somebody into foreign policy, if you say, oh, I think we should fight Iran and bomb it, it's like, is that not a call for violence? But should you be allowed to say that because war is real? And I just think the right is very hypocritical. They believe in safe spaces. They believe in hate speech laws. They believe in censorship. They believe in everything that they told you that they didn't believe. And when you say what I'm saying, they freak out like they're doing at Vivek. And I don't even fully trust or believe Vivek either. But out of the three I heard on that situation, he sounded really reasonable. And same with a lot of the war, like Nikki Haley, Tim Scott. They're very like generic war hawk, normie politicians that seem like they're super sold out. And it doesn't appeal to me. I heard Chris, someone said this dude is soft as F. I mean, I'm not soft. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I don't pass hate speech laws. Is it cool and hard to pass hate speech laws? It's like, oh, I don't like if you criticize the foreign country that we fund. So now I'm going to pass a law and say that it's hate speech every time you protest. Like, is that what tough is? Is that a tough guy thing to get into Congress, take a bunch of donor money and sell your constituents out? I don't think that's tough. I just think it's very sneaky. And that's why I don't trust anybody in Congress besides like most of Thomas Massey. But anyway, I heard Chris Christie say that the new evil axis or whatever is like China, Russia, Iran, North Korea. I don't know. He's like, they're all evil. And like, it's like good versus evil, folks. We're so good and they're so evil. And we're going to fight Russia and China. And it's like, if we're so good and China's so evil, and I'm not saying China's not evil. I'm not saying that China is like perfect. Obviously, I'm not communist Chinese. I'm American. But in the TikTok in China, they have strict rules against like degeneracy. Like women can't be just showing their breasts everywhere. And in America, I got banned from TikTok for doing accurate journalism. So it's like, if we're so much better than China, why are we allowing like teenagers and little kids to like, twerk and show off and be sexual? And you won't even allow like a 34-year-old journalist to do accurate videos about the pharmaceutical industry. I don't know if that would be allowed in China, but it's like, if we're so great, why is our TikTok so evil? You know what I'm saying? Why are Russia and China trying to make boys and make them strong? And we're trying to make them weak and weird. So it's like, I'm not dumb enough to believe Chris Christie that like we're so amazing. Like the American regime is so good and everybody else in the world so bad. And we're just so great. It's like, dude, you have no control over your own cities. You have no control over your own kids. You have no control over the universities. You have no control over the elections even. You have no control over your own party. You have no control over our foreign policy. We're sending hundreds of billions of dollars to a corrupt guy in a foreign country and they call you a name if you, it's like, so I don't necessarily believe that our regime is like so amazing. And the only way to fight evil in this world is to go after like Russia and Iran. But that's what they're trying to sell like the whole time. And it appeals to like this George W. Bush, like war in Iraq situation where it's like, like we got to go fight the bad guys and the terrorists and the Islam is going to beat us up. And it's like, it just doesn't appeal to me anymore. Like, even in 2001, I was younger. I never bought it, but like people did buy that. Like, oh, we got to go fight them. Who believes? Someone believes it. Like maybe like people who watch television or something, but like, I don't believe it. I'm not saying we're the worst. I'm not saying I hate America. Obviously, I love America. It's just like, I don't know. Like, do you guys believe that? Like, the only way to stop evil in the world is to like fight Iran and Russia, and then the world's going to be so great with America and all our allies who we don't even like our own country that much anymore. Like things are falling apart everywhere, but we're going to spread that to like, I don't know. Well, let me know what you guys think. I'm not going to stay too long. Sorry about my streams. I don't know. I felt weird the last couple of days. I let you guys know last time I said I was tired. I'm not really tired. My face feels weird. I don't know what the hell's going on, but I got to figure it out because I don't know if I was like just talking too much this weekend, but I feel like really weird after this weekend. So I haven't been doing too many long live streams, but it's probably better that way. I talk too much all the time. Maybe that's God's way of telling me to shut up and do something else. But someone said, I'm watching what you're watching happening to the country. Someone said Havana syndrome. Shit, I hope not. I hope it's not that serious. Hopefully it's something minor, but I don't know. My face just feels like weird. I can't explain it, but I like don't feel like talking. Someone said, check out Skid Row. Yeah, I mean, I've come to the conclusion. I want to say this too. Like, I think everybody's sold out except for Thomas Massey. I literally think like the entire Congress is sold out. Someone said Bell's palsy. I hope not. I don't know why I would get Bell's palsy, but my face does feel weird. I'm not like vaccine injured, but whatever. In general, I gotta go check it out or something though if it keeps feeling weird. But in general, I think that all of Congress is sold out. Like all these candidates are kind of sold out. And I gave a tough interview to Vivek, because I didn't trust everything he was saying. He was a little inconsistent and his pharmaceutical past is troubling, in my opinion. I don't really believe it necessarily, but I think he seems like the least sold out, or he talks like he's the least sold out. I don't agree with everything he says. I mean, he definitely panders a little bit like everyone, but today I think that Vivek won from what I saw. The second debate, I thought DeSantis won. Now that kind of, every time the world shifts and there's different subjects and there's different like topics and talking points that are now more relevant than it was the second debate. Personally, I think that Vivek seems the least sold out, but I don't like someone said, talk is cheap. He's never been in politics. He says a lot of good things and, politics seems to corrupt almost everybody who walks into it. So I would be shocked if he came out like 100%, but I don't even know if I don't even know if I'm going to vote in the Republican primary. I might, but I'm not really inspired by any of the candidates. Trump says the same thing as DeSantis does on the college campus stuff. So, I'm not super inspired. And now people are telling me like what it might be with my face. It's like they're giving me the most like extreme things. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let me read. I'll read a few comments. Someone said been feeling weird lately too. Someone said Bells, go naturopath, please. I'll give it a few days, but I mean, I'll check out a doctor. I just hate the doctor's office. But if I keep feeling weird, someone said, I bet everyone chicken soup. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to read all the craziest things that could be wrong with me, but figure it out. I wanted to go live and talk about this, but I'm not going to make it super long. I want to heal up, feel better, and I'll be back very soon. Thanks for Alex Jones has supplements for that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my mind feels healthy and stuff. My face just feels weird. I can't explain it. It just feels like when I talk, it's weird. And it's like, I don't know, something's a little off. So I got to figure it out. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for people writing what they think it might be in the comments. In a weird way, even though people are saying what it's like the worst possible thing, it kind of helps sometimes because I don't like to Google what it is because then it's like it tells you it's the craziest and worst thing. So figure it out. But I tried to pull it off today. I don't know. God bless you guys. Appreciate you. Have a beautiful day. And I'll be back soon. I don't think I'm going to do another live stream unless I feel better. So hopefully I'm back to normal tomorrow or the next day. If not, we'll figure it out. Appreciate you guys. Let me know what you think about the debate or at least what you saw of it. And I didn't want to share clips of it because they censor and I wouldn't say censor. They just do copyright strikes. I did a Theo Vaughn thing and they shut down my live stream because I had too many clips. And I was like, just give the money to Theo. I don't care if you give all the YouTube money to Theo. Just don't shut my stream down. Like they usually just give the money to that person, which I understand. But yeah, I got to be really careful about like sharing too many clips, even though I wanted to. I was like, I don't care if you give 100% to him. I want to share these clips. I had to cut it down, re-upload that YouTube video. So check that out. That one turned out pretty good. Appreciate you guys. God bless. I'll be back really soon.
Hey, what's going on, my friends? Just a few ways to stay in touch and support if you'd like to. The first way is dreamrare.com. We have blue beanies, black beanies, pink hats, other colored hats, freedom versus tyranny shirts, stay blessed long sleeve, God is great long sleeve, and lots of more cool items coming soon. Dreamrare.com. Check out the shop to support. Everything's made in the United States. Handpicked by me. Patreon.com/raretalk for $5 a month. You can help support me, support the show. If you haven't noticed, unlike other channels, I don't work with very many sponsors, sometimes none at all. And part of the way I'm able to do that is with the dreamrare.com shop and patreon.com/raretalk. So thank you guys for keeping this show free, unimpeded, uninterrupted. I'm forever grateful. My free email list is stayintouchwithme.com. So check the links below in the description or just type in on any browser, stayintouchwithme.com, all one word. You'll find my email list, put it in there, and it's the least annoying email list you'll ever be on. I barely use it because I don't like getting emailed every day or every week. It's annoying. So I don't do it. Stayintouchwithme.com. It helps me take back some power away from big tech. Telegram, t.me/dreamrarechat or @dreamrarechat. Due to censorship, I post all my live stream and videos there. Sometimes I have some bonus content, and I try to give people a heads up when Facebook or YouTube won't. DreamRareChat at Telegram. My Instagram is @DreamRare. Thanks for everybody following there for shorter content. And DreamRareLinks.com. That's DreamRareLinks.com. Has all my stuff. My podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, my music on Spotify and Apple, my Rumble page, my BitChute and Gab page. All my links are found at DreamRareLinks.com. Thanks for watching, folks. God bless you. You already know I'll be back.